for regular viewers, there's our sweet potatoes that we harvested out of the buckets. And, oh, look at that one's been bitten. And there's our yams that we got out of the grow bag. So what we're about to do is make a sweet potato and yam au gratin. G'day folks, Andy here from McDowell Manor. Obviously, step one, we begin by peeling everything. This is actually a woman's weekly bakes and gratins recipe. It actually includes caramelised onion. Now, I'm not going to terribly stick to the recipe. There it is there for those who are interested. For example, we're in lockdown. There's no way I'm going to the shop just to get some cream. Come on, guys. So what we'll do is we'll substitute milk and we'll see how we go. I reckon we'll be right. Okay, step one. Actually, step one, we might caramelise the onions. So I'm just going to peel, not dice, but just cut them into sort of strips. So the onions are in. While they're starting to caramelise, we're going to go back and do the peel of sweet potatoes. As the onions cook, I'm musing about a few things. One of which is some folks have cast iron Wednesdays or whatever day. Pretty much every day is cast iron over here because the only fry pans I've got are all bloody cast iron. The other thing, I guess, is if you're elsewhere in the world, you'd probably refer to this dish as au gratin. We're over here in Australia. We just call it a gratin. So you can see that's starting to go. I'm going to add a little bit of malt vinegar and some brown sugar. That's stirred in now. It was about a teaspoon of vinegar, about the same with brown sugar. Even though the recipe called for it, it is a thing I like to do. Oops, sorry about that. Now I noticed I do it in spaghetti sauces and all sorts of things now because it really does add a lovely depth of flavour to your dish. So if you don't normally do the brown sugar and vinegar trick, you might want to give that a bit of a crack on a few different bits and bobs. See what you think of it. Tell them Andy sent you. Yams are a bit disgusting. They're really slimy. Bloody hell. The recipe actually says to use a mandolin. But given how slimy those bloody yams are, I reckon I'd lose 3 fingers. So I'm just going to do this. I'll just thinly slice by hand, I think. That's going okay, so I'll continue doing it that way. Now, y'all, I think I'll use this container here on this dish on account of it's right pretty, and it's going to look real good on the video. I hope. Up the bottom with a bit of butter, and then we'll start layering. We're going to do sweet potato. So we've greased up that bad boy. Maybe it's a bad girl. You wouldn't know, would you? And we're going to start and layer that in. I started with the long strips, but it's too bloody hard. So I've resorted now and just doing little rounds. I just slice it through. It's easier. Sweet potato layer. I'm about to add the caramelised onions we did before. Now we're going to add a yam layer. As I'm mocking the yam for its sliminess. Got a beautiful texture. You should hear it. It's like cutting an apple. It's really crispy. I think this is going to be delicious. It oxidises pretty damn quickly, worse than a potato. So I'm going to grate the cheese on here fairly. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to mix up the milk because I don't have any pouring cream and some flour. 1 tablespoon of normal plain flour. I've done it in a cup of full cream milk. I'm going to add a cup of plain skim milk as well. There, we're departing the recipe again, well and truly. I'm also going to add a shake of garlic salt across the top. I'm going to put it in the oven for an hour and a quarter or so, covered with alfoil. And then I'll pull it out and I'll add a layer of cheese and some homegrown parsley and breadcrumbs on top. And there she goes. I'll see you in an hour and a quarter. So mine's on 180, which is a moderate oven. So I think that's probably about 375. Mine's a fan-forced oven. I actually don't think that makes all that much difference. I'm supposed to use Gruyere. I don't have Gruyere. Well, if I did, I wouldn't waste it on top of a bloody potato bake. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is use mostly an aged cheddar. with a bit of parmesan. And there's my fancy grater, which is just a normal manual grater. Parsley and chopped it fine. So I've taken it out after an hour and a bit, and I've added that top, which is cheese, breadcrumbs and a bit of parsley. We'll put it back in for 10 or 15 minutes. She's out of the oven. She certainly looks the business, doesn't it? So we'll let that cool down a bit and then we'll cut it and have a look. And a taste, eh? I really like the taste of the yam. Yum. What are you thinking, Rosie?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, it sounds like a hard woman to impress over there. I don't think she's going back for seconds. Anyway, I'm going to call that a success, folks. You have a good one, eh? Hooroo.